The air buzzes with energy as a swirling vortex opens in the sky above an ancient, unknown land. Aria, Max, and Zane stare up in awe, the swirling colors reflecting their excitement and uncertainty. The time portal hums louder, pulling them closer to a strange world. They step forward, their feet sinking into the dusty ground, the heat of the desert pressing down on them. The golden sands stretch endlessly before them, and in the distance, the silhouette of a massive pyramid rises against the setting sun. Aria squints, her eyes narrowing with curiosity. "What is this place?" Max whispers, his voice tinged with both excitement and apprehension. "It looks like Egypt," Zane offers, taking in the strange, ancient landscape. The trio exchanges puzzled glances. The portal has dropped them somewhere unexpected, a time not their own, a place filled with mystery and danger. The mission? To escape. But the question is, as they approach the towering pyramid in front of them, something shifts in the air. It's as if the land itself is watching them, waiting for them to make their next move. But what exactly awaits them within the pyramid's walls? The shadows seem to hold secrets they aren't prepared to uncover. A faint echo of a distant voice calls, its tone cryptic, "Escape the future, a maze that bends time itself." The trio steps cautiously toward the pyramid's entrance, the ancient stones worn smooth by centuries of desert winds. Aria leads the way, her heart pounding in her chest as they approach the ominous dark opening. "This has to be the way in," she says, trying to hide the unease in her voice. Max nods but looks back at the shimmering portal they just came through, now flickering in the distance. "I don't like this," he mutters. "We might have been pulled into some kind of trap." Ever the optimist taps the stone door. "Don't worry, it's probably just a puzzle or something, nothing we can't handle." But as soon as he speaks, the door shifts with a loud creak, and a voice booms from within, sending chills down their spines. "To proceed, solve the riddle, fail, and you shall remain trapped for eternity." Aria steps forward, determination in her eyes. "A riddle? That's it?" She glances at Max and Zane. "We've faced worse before. We can do this." The air grows colder as a hidden mechanism begins to reveal an ancient stone tablet. Carved deep into the surface are strange symbols and markings, an intricate puzzle that pulses with a faint, golden glow. Max runs his fingers along the symbols. These look like hieroglyphs, but they don't make sense. Zane kneels beside him, studying the pattern. "It's not just a language. It's a clue. A code we need to crack. But where do we start?" Suddenly, a rumbling sound fills the air, and the ground trembles beneath them. The massive stone door slams shut behind them, trapping them inside. A low growl reverberates through the chamber. The clock is ticking, the voice intones again. "Solve the puzzle before the sands of time run out." The pressure mounts as the chamber begins to close in on them. The walls slowly shift, inching closer with each passing second. They realize this is no ordinary puzzle. If they fail, they may not just be stuck in time, they could be crushed by the collapsing walls of the pyramid itself. Aria's heart races as the walls continue their slow, menacing crawl. She looks at the puzzle again, the glowing hieroglyphs now seeming more like a mockery than a challenge. "We don't have much time," she says, trying to mask the fear in her voice. "We need to figure this out, fast." Max's eyes flicker from the hieroglyphs to the walls, now only a few feet from them. "We need to think, what's the connection between the hieroglyphs and the time maze we're trying to escape?" His voice shakes as he adds, "It's like the pyramid is alive, pushing us toward something." Not one to panic easily, grabs one of the symbols on the tablet, tracing his fingers over it. "Look at this. These symbols are mirrored on the walls." His voice catches. "I think we have to match them up in the right order." But the problem is, they're not just symbols. They're more like instructions. The pressure mounts as the stone walls inch closer, casting long shadows. The air becomes thick, each breath feeling heavier than the last. The group realizes that if they don't crack this code quickly, the consequences are dire. A deep rumble shakes the chamber as the countdown continues in the background, a haunting ticking sound echoing in their ears. Zane's eyes widen. Wait, the numbers on the hieroglyphs, they correspond to time periods. This is a time travel puzzle. He rushes to the wall, pressing a few of the symbols in an attempt to unlock the mechanism. We're supposed to enter the right historical eras to stop the walls from closing in. Max looks at the sand slipping through an hourglass embedded in the wall. We have no idea what the right sequence is. If we get one wrong, we might trigger a trap or worse, trap ourselves in a time loop. Aria pushes the panic down. There's no time to second guess. We have to try. Let's go with the earliest time first. Egypt's where we are. So let's start there. The chamber shakes once more violently this time. As Aria presses the first symbol, a deep hiss fills the room, the walls pausing for a brief second. But it's only a brief reprieve. The room continues to close, now faster. Zane hits another symbol, this time one that feels like a gamble. The sound of grinding gears fills the air, and suddenly, the entire chamber begins to glow as the walls slow down. But then, the lights flicker, and something sinister starts to stir in the shadows of the pyramid. Figures emerge from the dark corners, shadowy guardians, their glowing eyes locking on the trio. The countdown continues, but now they face another challenge. Not only do they have to finish the puzzle, but they also have to evade these spectral protectors of the pyramid. We need to move, Max yells as one of the guardians steps forward, its presence cold and menacing. Aria, and Max sprint toward the next symbol, dodging the guardian's grasping hands as the time runs out. The pressure is mounting with every step they take, their lives hanging by a thread, their only hope the puzzle that will unlock their escape. The tension is unbearable as Aria slams her hand down on the final symbol. The room shakes violently, as if the entire pyramid is waking up. The shadowy guardians lurch toward them, their eyes burning with a cold, relentless hunger. Time is running out. Aria gasps. It's now or never, she shouts, her voice filled with urgency. The walls are closing faster now, their ominous rumbling filling the chamber. The hourglass, its sands nearly empty, seems to mock them with every passing second. Max looks to Zane. We need a plan. No. Zane's face is pale, sweat dripping down his forehead as he frantically presses the symbols. I think we've unlocked it. He pulls his hand back just as the sound of a deep, rumbling click echoes throughout the room. Suddenly, the ancient symbols on the walls light up with a brilliant blue glow, and the stone doors before them slowly begin to open. The walls stop moving. The guardians freeze, their glowing eyes dimming as if in defeat. But the relief is short-lived. The pyramid shakes again, this time with greater force. The ground cracks beneath their feet, and a low, guttural growl reverberates through the chamber. The ceiling begins to crack, dust and debris falling around them like rain. Run, Aria screams, grabbing Max and Zane's hands. Without hesitation, they dart toward the now open doors, the tunnel beyond glowing faintly in the dim light. But the pyramid has one last trick up its sleeve. The ground beneath them shifts, and the walls begin to collapse in a last desperate attempt to trap them forever. As they race toward the exit, the tunnel narrows, the ceiling above them crumbling as if the ancient structure is collapsing upon itself. They hear the guardians' chilling footsteps behind them, growing louder with each passing second. The light from the exit gets brighter, closer. Aria's breath comes in ragged gasps, her legs burning with the effort to escape. Just as they reach the exit, the ground shakes violently, and a massive stone block crashes down in front of them, barely missing their feet. With seconds to spare, they dive through the opening, tumbling into the sand outside the pyramid. They barely have time to catch their breath before the stone doors slam shut behind them, sealing the ancient tomb once and for all. They sit on the desert floor, panting, covered in dust, but alive. The pyramid stands silent in the distance, as if nothing had ever happened. Did we really just escape? Max asks, his voice weak but filled with awe. Aria wipes the sweat from her brow and looks at the pyramid one last time. I think we did, but I don't think we're done yet. A low rumble echoes in the distance, and a shadow seems to move across the desert sky. The trio exchanges uneasy glances. I have a feeling this was just the beginning, Zane says, standing up and brushing the sand from his clothes. Whatever we just triggered, it's not over. The three of them stand there, staring at the pyramid as the sun dips below the horizon. The air is thick with anticipation. It feels like the world is holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. Suddenly, a strange, shimmering light appears in the distance, too far to be the portal they came through, yet unmistakably like one. It hovers in the air, swirling with an ethereal glow. Aria steps forward, her heart racing. What is that? She whispers, more to herself than to the others. Zane squints into the distance. I don't know, but it feels like it's calling us. Max looks at his friends, his expression serious. We've barely escaped one trap. What if this is another one? But Aria doesn't wait for a response. She steps forward, drawn by the light's pull. I think we have to go. We don't know what's coming, but we need to stay ahead of it. The trio begins to move toward the shimmering light, the adventure far from over. As they walk, the light seems to flicker, like a beacon guiding them into the unknown. A sudden gust of wind sweeps across the desert, carrying with it a low, haunting whisper that seems to come from all directions. The maze is far from over. The trio freezes, looking around in confusion, but no one is there. Only the shimmering light continues to glow in the distance, drawing them in. They exchange one last glance before stepping forward, disappearing into the desert night, the mysteries of time and fate pulling them deeper into the unknown. And subscribe for more adventures as we continue to uncover the mysteries of time. Stay tuned for the next chapter in our journey through the maze.